got great chemistry. He and McVay get along. He's really, really good. Or do the Rams have leverage? We're really well run. We have Sean McVay. Go ahead and go to the Giants. Like, it's very interesting. It's a bad quarterback class. That helps Matt. But my takeaway is if Aaron Rodgers would have been a big success in New York, then I think Stafford would have more leverage. I honestly think I think it's a little bit of a stalemate, but I think the Rams are well run. And the teams that want him, like the Raiders or the Giants or the Browns, aren't. So I think that's a kind of an institutional advantage to the Rams over Stafford. The other thing that works in the Rams' favor is Matt played for the Lions for 12 years. He knows what it's like to have a suboptimal organization at every turn. It also helps that he's made $360 million. He's rich. So Matt Hasselbeck earlier on the Rams' decision.
If you're the Rams, you're saying to yourself, okay, how many more years is he going to play? So do we want high-level quarterback play for another year, a year or two, and then what? Or you look around at what some of these other teams have done, like where you just have consistent high-level quarterback play and you hand the baton off smoothly. What if you did let Matthew Stafford go and, you were able to get a younger, slightly cheaper option? Maybe it is Sam Darnold coming back to, LA, who knows? But I do think it's a two-way street. All of this gets discussed and it usually gets discussed at the combine. People think the combine's all about college kids working out. It's where a lot of deals get done as well.
Yeah, I was told that over the weekend is that the agent for Stafford and the Rams will meet in Indianapolis and try to nail it down. Because the Rams have hit on so many of their defensive draft picks, they're not paying anybody defensively. I mean, the slate is clean. It's just good young players like Jared Verse. They're not paying him. So their defense is cheap. What they need to do, if the Rams could absolutely guarantee they get one of the top 4 offensive tackles, that means either Havenstein or about to be paid left tackle, last name Jackson, they wouldn't have to pay. Then they could afford him. So right now they're paying a tight end. They're paying Cooper Kupp. They're paying Matt Stafford. They're paying Havenstein, the right tackle. So if they could get a tackle, one of the 4 or 5 best in the first round, and you could guarantee that, they'd re-sign Matt Stafford because they're paying nobody defensively. They're not paying anybody in special teams. They drafted a punter, a kicker, long snappers. They're not paying anybody. All their money is on offense. They may, however, have to pay both tackles. That's the issue. That's why their first draft pick, in my opinion, should be an offensive tackle. Not because their tackles aren't good, but you can't pay both, right? Like Kansas City tried to get away with it, paying, one, hedging the other. That's just a position when you have an older quarterback or a quarterback that's been banged up, you can't screw around with. So Hasselbeck also, now there's a rumor, and I think it's well-founded, and I have somebody who I trust that believes this is a possibility. Aaron Rodgers right now is, little north of L.A. right now working out, got a place in Malibu. He's in good shape. He's 41. Last 10 games he was good. Hasselbeck on the idea that if Stafford left, Rams don't want him to, if he left, the idea that here comes Aaron for a year or two is a Band-Aid.
I don't see the Rams moving on from Matthew Stafford with the chemistry and the rapport. Like they're just next level, no look passes all day long and going to Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of like, I don't know why you would do that. I think what you would do is maybe that baton, that handoff. So you have, you go from basically you find your Jordan Love, so to speak. That's what I could see happening. But no, I don't see Aaron in that. I don't see him in that situation. Not because I don't think he could do it, but it's kind of I don't know. They're too similar. The age thing, I wouldn't make that move.
The thing that you have to remember, the Eagles hammered the Chiefs and hammered the Commanders, and we showed this video. We could show it again. Just don't forget what happened when the indoor Rams with immobile Matt Stafford went to Philadelphia. They were driving down the field for the win, and they were marching for the win. And they outgained the Eagles that day and out first downed them. Time of possession was even. Jalen Hurts threw for under 70 yards. The Rams were going for the win. People forget this. They were moving the chains. Stafford had protection. Big throw to Puka. They got down to the 15-yard line. Touchdown, PAT. They were going to beat Philadelphia. So, the one thing Stafford can say is, fellas, they're a completion away. J-Mac, you can roll your eyes. Watch how Philadelphia crushed almost all of their late opponents. That was a go either way. That game's in SoFi. It may not look like that.
Yeah, if memory serves, Jalen Carter dominated the last couple plays of that series.
He did.
Just owned the interior
against a
line.
rookie 6th-round center for the Rams.
Yeah.
Bad matchup.
I mean, listen, Rams played great, no doubt about it. They came back strong despite a woeful start in the snow. I like Stafford. I don't think the Rams are going to let him go. I think it's interesting that, Giants are all in and he's chirping, but ultimately I think.
So I said this to my buddy yesterday, John Middlecoff. I said, would you flip, if you could get Stafford and all you had to do, you have the 3rd pick, Giants, Rams have like 20th, would you flip them?
I don't think that they're going to do that.
You wouldn't flip picks to get Matt Stafford. You still have a first.
For a year or two?
No, you get an you sign him to a 3-year deal.
I don't know about that. I don't think they're going to get
let me tell you, if I am Brian Daboll, am I not pounding the table for that? They don't have a quarterback. What are you going to do? Get me fired?
I don't think Brian Daboll's pounding any tables given the situation that him and the GM are in.
Joe Shane is never going to get another GM job. If he gets fired after that HBO Max series and the Barkley move, he's not getting a job. I cannot believe how many Ram fans or how many Giant fans are saying, I wouldn't even flip the first. It's a weak draft.
It's early. Let me say, I may change my mind in a couple weeks once we start to hear stuff come out of the combine. What if Cam Ward or Shador is there at 3? I don't think they will be, but what if they are? Wouldn't you rather roll the dice with one of them for a decade as opposed to 2 more years of Matt Stafford?
Well, I know what the Rams would do. If the Rams got the Giants pick, they flip firsts. You still have a first. If you flip firsts, the Rams would trade down. And just because what they want to do, what the Rams want to do is find their quarterback. They don't love either of these guys. So my take is they would fill the roster up, then they go get Aaron, and they've got 11 picks. You hit on 7 on a pretty
Isn't that what the Jets did? They filled the roster up and got Aaron, plugged him in, and he stunk.
But
he was terrible.
One has Sean McVay, one had the Jet staff. So Goff was seen as a bust. And then he wasn't with McVay. Baker Mayfield's career pretty much hit a dead end. Then it didn't with McVay. You don't think Aaron Rodgers, with McVay for a year, could not be a 28 touchdown, 7 pick?
So you read the report that the Jets said to Rodgers, hey, all this doing podcast paid stuff, that's out the window. No more of that.
Rams don't care.
Would the Rams concede on that?
They don't care about that stuff.
Interesting.
I don't care.
Toxic for the locker room.
It doesn't bother me that Aaron's doing podcast. It just doesn't. It's once a week. It's 40 minutes.
It's not the Micah Parsons podcast, which is like friendly and jovial, and this is a different.
He talks a little vaccine.
He wants to deport Fauci or something like that. Come on.